Good morning. Welcome to Morning Special. 여러분 안녕하세요. 3월 6일 금요일 최수진의 Morning Special입니다. In the fight against the virus we're facing these days, we've encountered many difficult obstacles, including lack of supplies, overpriced items, and even loss of lives. But the worst doesn't seem to end there, as there are still many hurdles, including the aftermath of having someone close dealing with the virus and the fear of contracting it anywhere. 최근 코로나19 바이러스의 확산으로 심리 상담까지 찾는 이들이 많은 것으로 나타나고 있습니다. 집 밖에 나가지 못하겠다. 사람들을 만나기가 무섭다. 나도 코로나19에 걸리지 않았는지 무섭다. 등등 일상생활의 불안감을 호소하는 사례가 빈번하다고 하는데요. 전문가들은 코로나19 사태의 심각성에 생각이 매몰되다 보면 불안 등 증상이 커질 수 있다면서 관심사를 다른 쪽으로 적절히 돌리는 것이 정신건강에 도움이 된다고 조언하고 있습니다. 청취자 여러분, 각종 바이러스를 이겨낼 수 있는 가장 좋은 비결은 바로 스스로를 위한 자가 면역력입니다. 오늘도 마음을 넉넉히 가지시고 스트레스 없는 하루가 되기를 바랍니다. With that in mind, here's a quiz question. A deeply distressing or disturbing experience is known as 1번 trauma, 2번 memory, 3번 picnic. 오늘도 청취자 여러분의 많은 참여 기다리고 있습니다. 퀴즈 정답 보내주신 분들 중에 추첨을 통해서 총 5분께 저자극 순한 비누 보내드리겠습니다. 또 소식, 소감 그리고 방송 중 궁금한 질문 있으시면 보내주세요. 만디 게시판 무료로 이용할 수 있고요. 짧은 문자 50원, 긴 문자 100원에 샵 1045로 보내주시면 됩니다. Now let's get the show started by greeting the one and only Steve.
Good morning, Sue. How you doing on this Friday?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm starting to hear, though, of disrupted travel plans for people around me because of the situation that's going on. My parents are in Florida right now, and my sister and her husband and her children were meant to visit Florida to visit my parents next month. I think that trip may get canceled. I'm going to advise my sister to maybe at least delay or postpone her plans. My friend Jeff, who lives in Korea with his partner, he was on vacation for the last 2 months, and he's from Florida as well.
Right.
He was supposed to come back next week to Korea. Now, because of canceled flights, he's looking at maybe early May. He said.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so it's really
March now.
Exactly. Yeah, so it's really starting to disrupt a lot of people's travel plans, and of course, safety has to be the first priority. But still, it's an interesting side note for what's happening.
Yeah, and it's affecting people's mental health as well. That's what our opening was about today. A lot of people are looking for online consulting. They're saying we're getting really nervous and agitated and anxious, whether you have been a patient or not, or you know someone who's a patient, or if you've just not contracted the disease at all. A lot of people are feeling really nervous.
And there's a good reason for people to feel nervous. However, I think maybe we can apply the advice that I always try to apply to myself and I give my friends as well. Of course, follow all of the regulations or all of the recommendations that the government has put out, and we go over them on a daily basis here. But beyond that, in your own life, you can't control what's going on around you, right? So panicking doesn't help, if that makes sense. Panicking isn't going to change all of the chaos that happens around you, because if you think about it, every day you wake up and you go outside, it's chaos.
Yeah.
And that means you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You can't control it. And because you can't control it, therefore it's best not to panic about it. And just try to keep confirming that feeling within yourself. Remind yourself, don't panic, and just do what you can to keep yourself safe and your family members safe. And beyond that, that's all you can do.
Yeah, experts say one thing you could do is to take your mind off the coronavirus for a little while. Try to focus on something else. Try and, concentrate on a different activity. inside the home.
Yeah, easier said than done, of
Yeah.
course. But that's what I said maybe last week or the week before. Maybe try to find a new activity to do at home.
Cook, maybe.
Yeah, maybe that. Maybe play some games, go and
Yeah.
pick out some games and play with the kids or something online. Just anything to keep your mind off of things,
Yeah.
right?
But as you said, it really is easier said than done.
True.
We're going to look at a preventative measure today, and this one is focusing on washing hands. It was a recommendation by the British Daily Guardian. 영국 일간지 가디언이 이제 COVID-19의 예방 수칙으로 손 씻기에 대한 유의점을 지금 보도를 했는데요. 안내해드리도록 하겠습니다.
All right. So first of all, turn off the water. They say it's better to turn off the water when you wash your hands with soap. So in other words, sometimes people when they wash their hands, they'll do it under the water at the
Yeah.
same time. But they say that you should not be rinsing your hands simultaneously with the soap being on your hands. So turn off the water, wash your hands with the soap, and then after you've rubbed your hands enough, then you can rinse your hands.
네, 비누칠을 할 때 헹굼과 동시에 비누칠을 하지 마시고요. 물은 잠시 잠그고 비누칠을 충분히 한 다음에 물을 다시 틀어서 헹구는 게 좋겠습니다.
Also, they say water flowing is good for rinsing soap bubbles under sufficient water pressure. So do not rinse your hands in a wash basin or in a sink in some stagnant water.
네, 고인 물보다는 흐르는 물에 손을 씻는 게 좋고요.
20 seconds is their next keyword. It means that you should spend more than 20 seconds just rinsing the bubbles. Rinsing thoroughly without leaving any soap is the key to hand washing.
네, 그렇습니다. rinse, 그러니까 헹구는 데만 또 20초 정도를 쓰는 게 좋고요.
Also, they say a hand towel is best. The best way to dry your hands is to use a paper towel. Paper towels are more hygienic than hand dryers, according to a 2012 study by the Mayo Clinic in the United States. If you have to use a regular towel, it is desirable to use it 3 times and then put it in the laundry basket for washing. This is because mold or germs can reproduce on damp clothes.
네, 그렇습니다. 손을 건조할 때는 페이퍼 타올을 사용하는 게 가장 위생적이라고 합니다. 드라이어보다도 페이퍼 타올이 가장 위생적이고요. 일반 수건을 쓸 경우에는 3번 정도 쓴 다음에 빨래통에 넣는 게 좋겠습니다.
And after you wash your hands, turn off the water, leave the washroom. But the problem, they say, is the faucet and the doorknob. Because if you barely wash your hands, they can be contaminated again within just a couple of seconds, right? If you're touching a contaminated doorknob. So if you have a paper towel with your hands washed, it is safe to close the water or turn off the water and then open the door with that towel or paper towel. If it's not possible, it is desirable to prepare tissues that will be finished in advance or to use elbows. I'm doing that a lot these days, using your elbows to open doors or to push elevator buttons, things like that.
네, 그렇습니다. 손으로 직접 수도꼭지나 문 손잡이를 잡기보다는요. 페이퍼 타올이 이미 준비가 돼 있다면 그걸 사용해서 직접 손과 손잡이, 수도꼭지가 닿지 않도록 하시는 게 좋겠고요. 그게 또 여의치 않을 경우에는 팔꿈치로 문을 열 수 있을 때는 이 방법도 쓰는 게 좋습니다.
Also use disinfectant. According to researchers at Kyoto University in Japan last year, using soap and water for washing your hands is more effective than hand sanitizers. You should use hand sanitizers if water and soap are not available, but using it too often can cause skin trouble and make you more vulnerable to infection as well.
네. 많은 전문가들은 손 소독제보다도 비누와 물을 쓰면서 손을 씻는 게 더 효과적이라고 합니다. Okay, that was a look at some preventative measures against COVID-19, the virus. It's time now to go over this morning's global headlines. 세계 각국 언론사들의 어떤 헤드라인이 올라왔는지 이제 살펴보는 시간입니다. Touch Global Headlines.
Japan has decided to adopt a mandatory 2-week quarantine term for all visitors from Korea, while Australia has added Korea to its travel ban list.
일본이 한국발 입국자 제한을 강화하고 호주가 입국 금지 조치를 취하는 등 한국에서 오는 사람들을 막는 국가가 늘고 있습니다.
The number of COVID-19 cases has continued to rise around the world, including Sweden, Denmark, and the Netherlands in Northern Europe, as well as Algeria in Africa.
북유럽인 스웨덴, 덴마크, 네덜란드, 또 아프리카 알제리에서도 코로나19 확진자가 증가하고 있습니다.
Health authorities in the United States are on high alert after a cruise ship passenger died from COVID-19.
미국에서 크루즈선으로 해외여행을 다녀온 승객이 코로나19로 숨지면서 미 보건당국에 비상이 걸렸습니다.
The Customs Office of Vladivostok, Russia, has said it detected radiation exceeding standard levels in cars imported from Japan.
러시아 블라디보스토크 세관이 일본에서 들여온 승용차에서 기준치를 넘는 방사선이 검출됐다고 밝혔습니다. 지금 읽어드린 헤드라인은 모닝 스페셜 홈페이지에 들어가셔서 다시 무료로 들으실 수 있습니다. You can check those headlines again by going to our website and it's free of charge. Let's go over the headlines.
Headline number one today. Japan has decided to adopt a mandatory 2-week quarantine term for all visitors from Korea, while Australia has added Korea to its travel ban list.
일본이 한국발 입국자 제한을 강화하고 호주가 입국 금지 조치를 취하는 등 한국에서 오는 사람들을 막는 국가가 늘고 있습니다.
So we'll start with the news from Japan. They decided yesterday to tighten entry restrictions on arrivals from South Korea and China starting next week, obviously over the concern of the spread of the virus. Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe announced after a government meeting that those flying in from neighboring countries, those two neighboring countries, will be quarantined at a designated place for 2 weeks, and this will be put into effect from next Monday, and it will last to at least the end of this month. Tokyo, of course, has already imposed an entry ban on people arriving from the south to southeastern regions, Daegu and North Gyeongsang province. Of course, that's where the bulk of the COVID-19 cases have been reported.
네, 그렇습니다. 일단 일본의 조치부터 살펴봤는데요. 다음 주 월요일부터 한국과 중국에서 일본으로 건너가게 될 경우에는요. 지정된 장소에서 2주간 대기를 해야 합니다. 사실상의 격리 조치라고 볼 수 있겠죠. 이미 대구와 경북, 청도에서 체류한 이력이 있는 외국인에 대해서는 일본에서 이미 입국을 거부하고 있는 상태입니다.
Abe also hinted at the possibility of expanding that entry ban for other hit regions from South Korea and also invalidating all arrival visas that have been issued to Koreans and Chinese people. But that was just a possibility. That is just a possibility at this time. Now, the news from Australia. The federal government has expanded its coronavirus travel ban to include South Korea and added additional precautions for travelers from Italy. Prime Minister Scott Morrison has also confirmed that the existing ban on foreign nationals traveling from China and Iran to Australia has been extended for another week.
네, 다음으로는 이제 호주의 조치인데요. 한국인의 입국 금지 조치가 결정이 된 것 같습니다. 한국, 중국, 이란에서 출발한 호주인이 아닌 외국인의 경우에는요. 다른 곳에서 14일을 먼저 보내야만 호주에 입국을 할 수 있다고 합니다. 그러나 이제 논란이 되고 있는 것은 이탈리아 같은 경우에 최근에 갑자기 사망자와 확진자가 늘어났습니다. 사망자가 우리나라의 3배에 이르는데요. 이탈리아에 대해서는 입국 금지 조치를 하지 않고 검역만 강화했습니다. 이에 대해서 호주의 스콧 모리슨 총리는 한국으로부터 호주에 도착하는 입국자가 이탈리아에서 오는 입국자보다 5배나 많기 때문에 이런 조치를 취했다 이렇게 밝혔습니다.
So these bans now will be in place until Saturday, March 14th. That's the plan. But the government is going to review the situation within a week to determine if the travel restrictions need to be extended further. And I think we're seeing that a lot in the news these days. Governments are making plans week by week because the situation is so fluid, right?
Exactly.
Foreign nationals who have been in mainland China, Iran, and South Korea will not be allowed into Australia for 14 days from the time that they left those countries. And Scott Morrison, again, the Prime Minister, said that travelers from Italy would be faced advanced screening measures, and that means that they will be asked more questions at check-in and have their temperatures checked on arrival in Australia.
Of course, as I said in my Korean translation there, The number of deaths in Italy have risen quite a lot in the past few days. Currently, the number stands at 107, which is not quite 3 times that of South Korea's death rate, but nonetheless very, very high, the second highest after China now. But nonetheless, Australia has said because we don't get a lot of tourists from Italy, we get many more from Korea. That is why we have decided to ban or at least impose the travel ban from those in Korea.
5 times the number of passengers traveling to Australia from Korea compared to that from Italy. So that's why that decision has taken place. And now the number of cases in Australia is growing as well. More than 50 recorded cases of COVID-19 in Australia.
네, 그렇습니다. 아까 스티브 선생님이 the situation is so fluid 이런 표현을 쓰셨는데요. 상황이 굉장히 유동적이다라는 뜻입니다. 그래서 이제 앞으로 또 어떤 조치가 취해질지는 더 지켜봐야 될 것 같습니다. Let's check our second headline.
The number of COVID-19 cases has continued to rise around the world, including Sweden, Denmark, and the Netherlands in Northern Europe, as well as Algeria in Africa.
북유럽인 스웨덴, 덴마크, 네덜란드, 또 아프리카 알제리에서도 코로나19 확진자가 증가하고 있습니다.
So the number of confirmed cases of COVID-19 in the Netherlands has now increased to 82. That's according to a Reuters report. And this is more than a 2-fold increase from the previous day where the number stood at 38. That country's first confirmed case was reported on the 27th of February. Dutch health authorities also earlier explained that most of the confirmed cases were those who had been to northern Italy or had contact with existing patients. And those patients in the Netherlands are quarantined at the hospital or at home.
네, 그렇습니다. 스웨덴, 네덜란드, 덴마크 같은 경우에는 전날 각각 16명, 15명, 그리고 5명씩 새로 확진자가 나왔다는 소식이고요. 총 지금 확진자의 수는 계속 업데이트가 되고 있는 중입니다만 스웨덴 같은 경우에는 52명, 또 덴마크는 한 15명으로 지금 제가 알고 있습니다. And also in Africa.
Yeah, the increases in Europe are significant, but also in Africa as well. Algeria reported 9 new confirmed coronavirus cases on Wednesday, bringing to 17 the total number of tested positive for the virus. Those cases include 16 from the same family in Blida province. That's about 30 kilometers south of the capital, Algiers. Also an Italian man in that region as well. The family, you may wonder, why a whole family? Well, last month, that family hosted a man and his daughter based in France who were tested positive for coronavirus after flying back to France.
아, 그렇군요. 북아프리카에 있는 알제리가요, 이제 새로 9명의 확진자를 발표하면서 총 알제리의 확진자는 17명으로 늘어났습니다. 아프리카 대륙에서 지금 현재 알제리의 코로나19 확진자가 가장 많습니다.
On the African continent, nearly 30 confirmed people have been confirmed, in 6 different countries: Algeria, Senegal, Egypt, Morocco, Nigeria, and Tunisia. And there is concern that the spread of infectious diseases will cause great damage because African countries are not only able to examine the COVID-19, but also have poor facilities to treat it. So do you remember back when we were talking about this in the very beginning when we were discussing countries getting their citizens out of Wuhan?
Yeah.
And there was an African country, and I don't remember what it was right now, but the country said, we are going to leave our students in Wuhan because we don't want to risk them coming back to Africa because we don't have the facilities,
Yeah.
we don't have the tools to deal with this, and that's why they are so concerned in Africa right now.
Indeed. And I understand that we have an update from the UK as well. Also on high alert, the UK reported its first death from the coronavirus a few hours ago. Let's go on to our next headline.
Headline number 3, health authorities in the United States are on high alert after a cruise ship passenger died from COVID-19.
미국에서 크루즈선으로 해외여행을 다녀온 승객이 코로나19로 숨지면서 미 보건당국에 비상이 걸렸습니다.
Yes, this cruise ship passenger died from the virus less than 2 weeks after he returned home, marking California's first death as the disease has now sickened 50 people in 15 different states. The death was reported on Wednesday, and it was linked to the Grand Princess cruise ship and was the first coronavirus fatality outside of Washington state, where 10 people have died. I don't know if that's the most recent number I have on paper here. That number from Washington state may be higher now. I would have to check. Anyway, the cruise ship's being held off of the California coast so that federal health authorities can screen the people aboard, some of whom were on an earlier cruise with the California victim.
The name Grand Princess may sound very familiar to those who've been keeping up to date with the other Princess cruise ship, Diamond Princess. They're actually run by the same Princess cruise operator, although the two ships are unrelated at this time.
That's right. This unidentified man was 71 years old, and he did have underlying health conditions, but he was likely exposed to the virus, they say, on the cruise from San Francisco to Mexico between the dates of February 11th and February 21st. And after the Grand Princess finished its Mexico trip last month, it went on another cruise to Hawaii and is on its way back. Some passengers on the current cruise were on the previous one, so that's why they are concerned about that.
네, 그렇습니다. 캘리포니아 주에서 71세의 기저질환이 있었던 남성이 그랜드 프린세스라고 하는 크루즈선을 타고 해외여행을 다녀왔는데요. 숨졌다고 어제 미 보건당국이 발표했습니다. 이로써 캘리포니아에서도 처음으로 코로나19 사망자가 나왔고 그 다음에 이제 이 크루즈선을 탔다가 코로나 바이러스로 인해서 병원에서 격리가 되고 치료를 받다가 사망했기 때문에 혹여나 이제 우려가 지금 있는 것은 예전에 있었던 다이아몬드 프린세스 호 같은 경우에 감염자가 706명이 나왔습니다. 그런 일이 반복이 되지 않았으면 하는 많은 바람이 있는데요. 우려가 일단은 미국에서 있다고 합니다.
Yeah, so there are 62 passengers on the ship that sailed that San Francisco to Mexico voyage and then remained on the ship for the current Hawaii one. And to screen those passengers and perhaps other passengers as well who may have been exposed to the virus, the Coast Guard delivered sampling kits to the ship Thursday via helicopter, and a medical team on board will be administering the tests.
네, 그렇습니다. 이 그랜드 프린세스 크루즈선은 샌프란시스코에서 멕시코로 가는 크루즈선이었습니다. Let's check our final headline.
The Customs Office of Vladivostok, Russia, has said it detected radiation exceeding standard levels in cars imported from Japan.
러시아 블라디보스토크 세관이 일본에서 들여온 승용차에서 기준치를 넘는 방사선이 검출됐다고 밝혔습니다.
According to RIA Novosti news agency, the Vladivostok Customs Office recently found radiation that exceeded the standard level in one Audi automobile that was imported from Japan. The Customs Office added that it will return the Audi automobiles brought over from Japan. Earlier in January, radiation was also detected in Toyota Prius hybrid cars that were brought in from Japan as well. The Customs Office, they said it was not clear if both of the two vehicles where radiation was detected were used cars or new cars. At the time, Toyota claimed that it did not export Prius hybrid cars from Japan to Vladivostok. Custom authorities are prohibited from importing excess radiation into countries belonging to the Eurasian Economic Union.
네, Eurasian Economic Union이 이제 우리는 유라시아 경제 연합이라고 하죠. 러시아, 벨라루스, 카자흐스탄, 아르메니아, 또 키르기스탄 총 5개국이 포함된 경제 연합인데요. 이 Eurasia Economic Union에 따르면은 이제 방사선 초과된 제품은 수입을 할 수 없게 돼 있습니다. 지금 얘기를 하고 있는 승용차가 한 대인데요. 이 아우디 승용차가 기준치의 방사선이 기준치를 넘는 방사선이 검출됐고요. 일단은 이 승용차는 일본으로 반송하기로 했습니다. 지난 1월에 러시아로 들어갔었던 이제 프리우스 하이브리드 같은 경우에는 아마 중고차였을 가능성이 높다고 하는데요. 왜냐하면 일본에서는 이 특종 차량은 수출을 하지 않는다라고 했기 때문입니다. 또 2011년 3월 발생한 이 후쿠시마 1호 원전 사고 이후 이제 그해 4월부터 2017년 6월까지 지금까지 이렇게 방사능 초가 검출된 사례가 875건이 된다고 합니다. Well, those were our headlines this morning. Let's remind our listeners of the quiz.
A deeply distressing or disturbing experience is known as blank. Is it number 1, trauma, number 2, memory, or number 3, picnic?
계속 정답 보내주세요. 총 5분께 추첨을 통해서 저자극 순한 비누 보내드리겠습니다. 자, 노래 듣고 와서 여러분의 사연과 뉴스 포커스 살펴볼게요. Soft Cell이 부릅니다. Tainted Love. Tainted Love 듣고 왔습니다. 반정호 님이요. Good morning. Welcome to Morning Special. 저는 학교에서 학생들을 가르치며 자율 동아리반 학생들과 학교 영자신문을 매 학기 발간하고 있습니다. 동아리반 학생들과 모닝 스페셜 기사를 들으며 헤드라인 뉴스도 공부했어요. 학생들 모두 건강하게 만나고 싶군요. 모하 가족분들도 응원합니다 하셨어요. I teach students and I run an English newspaper club at the school I teach. We often refer to your headlines on Morning Special when we prepare to write our articles. But of course, school is closed right now. I really look forward to meeting up with my students again, says this person.
Yeah, I'm sure you are, as are all teachers around the country, right?
Yeah, absolutely. 학생도 선생님도 지금 정말 많이 그리우실 것 같은데요. 조금만 더 우리 항해날 해야 될 것 같습니다. 2584님이요. 주말 부부인데요. 집에도 못 가고 숙소에서 보내는 주말 되겠어요. 슬퍼요 하셨습니다.
Video chatting.
Yes.
That's about the best you can do these days, right?
그렇습니다. 영상통화라도 좀 하셔야 될 것 같아요. 아이고. 김선희님이요. 저의 트라우마는 밤에 흰옷 입은 사람만 보면 겁이 나서 도망가곤 해요. 어릴 적 시골에서 귀신 나오는 전설의 고향 드라마 보고 나서부터 그런 트라우마가 생겼습니다. This person has a trauma. They grew up in the countryside watching or hearing about ghost stories, and ghosts wear white clothes here in Korea. So whenever this person sees a person wearing white at night, they get back into that traumatic state.
Oh, really?
Apparently, yeah.
Oh.
Because it feels like a ghost, apparently.
Yeah, people often get with phobias and things like that, where people say, oh, I'm really afraid of this. If you tell those stories to your friends often say, oh, that's silly. But if you're genuinely afraid of something, then that's a legitimate thing to you, right? I don't know what the advice would be there.
Stay at home, make sure no one's wearing white. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe search online for some advice, some therapy advice on maybe how to get over that particular fear. I'm not sure. I do have a piece of advice for 2584, the Chumal Bubu couple. What if you did a video chat and you could put on the same movie? So he puts on a movie at his house and you put on the movie at your house, and then you do the video chat. Make sure your phones or your tablets or your computer's fully charged. It's going to be a long chat. But then you could watch the movie together, but in different locations.
That's a good idea.
It's not bad, right?
같이 영화를 각각의 장소에서 보시면서 전화기 틀어놓고 마치 같이 영화를 보는 것 같은 그런 거 해보시는 게 어떨까요? 2584님에게 스티브 선생님이 하나의 팁을 주셨습니다.
Yeah, maybe.
남현정님은요. 언젠가부터 이 트라우마라는 말을 일상생활에서도 많이 쓰게 된 것 같습니다. 가벼운 스트레스는 트라우마가 아니라 건강한 자극으로 받아들이는 게 정신 건강에도 좋겠죠. I feel like a lot of people misuse the word trauma, says 남현정님. Sometimes we get a bit stressed. That is not a trauma. And, if you think of things lightly, that might help with your mental health.
Maybe, yeah. I think the word depressed or depression is overused too. People say, when they say, I'm depressed, they might mean I'm sad.
Yeah.
When depression is a whole different
That's
level.
A serious mental condition.
It seriously is. Yeah, that's right. So I agree with you. But the word trauma and traumatic, we sometimes use that lightly in English too. Sometimes if we're telling a story For example, when I was in middle school, I gave a speech in front of my class, and my zipper was down the whole time. And the students were laughing, and I
Yeah.
thought it was because my speech was funny.
Yeah, right.
So when I tell that story again, I say, oh, that was a traumatic experience. Now, was it really traumatic? No, of course not. But we can use it that way in English sometimes just to describe it in a fun way.
그때 정말 창피했어라는 의미로 영어에서는 가끔 that was a traumatic experience라고 하기도 합니다. 국순혜님이요. 영화 같이 보기 스티브 선생님 아이디어 좋아요 하셨습니다.
Pretty good, right?
Absolutely. Well, keep sending in those messages as well as the answers and questions you may have. We have 5 저자극 순환 비누 sets to give away during the first hour. Let's get to our first news focus story. 자, 그러면 첫 번째 뉴스 포커스 살펴보겠습니다. 코로나19에 걸린 홍콩 확진 환자의 반려견이 코로나19에 감염된 것으로 공식 확인됐다는 소식인데요. Let's listen to the story.
A pet dog belonging to a COVID-19 patient has contracted the coronavirus, Hong Kong health authorities confirmed. The Pomeranian, which has repeatedly tested weak positive since last Friday, suggesting it was surface contamination, with the dog picking up traces of the virus in its nose and mouth rather than being actually infected, will now remain under quarantine with the Agriculture, Fisheries and Conservation Department for further testing. Experts called it a low-level infection that was likely to be the first reported case of human-to-animal transmission of the disease.
네, 반려견이 사람이 동물에게 이제 코로나19를 전파한 첫 사례라고 합니다. This is the first case of a pet contracting the virus from a person.
Yes, and I have kind of a side update for you
Okay.
on this. I found an article from the New York Times that just came out about 7 hours ago or so. And it says the dog, it's been tested several times. It's under quarantine, but it's not sick. And according to the article from the New York Times, you should not be worried about the welfare of your pet or other people's pets. Both the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, as well as the World Organization for Animal Health, they have issued advisories saying there's no evidence that companion animals, that's a pet, can spread the virus. Therefore, there is no justification in taking measures against companion animals which may compromise their welfare.
네, companion animals가 바로 반려동물이 될 텐데요. 이 반려견 같은 경우에는 홍콩에서 수차례 검사를 받았는데 매번 이제 약하게지만 양성 반응이 나왔다고 합니다. 그런데 굉장히 건강하대요. 관련 증상은 전혀 안 나타내고 있습니다.
Yes, and one last point that I want to stress there. Apart from this is what the government of Hong Kong said. Apart from maintaining good hygiene practices, pet owners need not be overly concerned. Need not, so don't need to be overly concerned. And under no circumstances should you abandon your pet. So if you think that your pet maybe has a cold or something, and do not abandon your pet, please.
네. 이제 반려동물이 혹시라도 뭐 감기 증세를 보인다라고 해서 절대로 방치를 하지 말아달라라는 게 전문가들의 얘기고요. 사스 때도 반려동물이 감염된 케이스가 있었다고 하는데 반려동물이 그 다음에 사람에게 퍼뜨리지는 않는다고 합니다.
So how did this dog get this virus? Well, they say that it probably picked up the traces of the virus in its nose and mouth. So to pick up means to, well, there's many, many, many different ways that we can use pick up,
Yeah.
right? So in this context, we'll get to that in just a moment. But it could be something that you get by accident, okay? So for example, if you go to the beach over the weekend and you think, oh, Monday, you think, oh, I think I got a cold. I think I picked up a cold at the beach. So that means that you get it by accident, right? It doesn't mean that you got it on purpose. It means that it was a mistake. You didn't choose to get it, but you got it anyway.
그러니까 감기 같은 경우에는 이제 옮다로 해석을 하면 될 것 같아요. 전혀 뭐 의도하진 않았지만 어떻게 하다 보니 어떤 장소에 가서 감기에 올맞다.
So in this context of this article, it could be used in both ways. Literally to pick up, because the dog touching a surface with its nose, it would literally pick up something, right? So it picked up in a literal sense, but also picked up by mistake.
그렇죠. 직역을 하게 되면은 뭔가 옮다라는 뜻이 있잖아요. 그래서 이 강아지 같은 경우에는 옮다라는 의미로 pick up traces of the virus라고 볼 수도 있고 아니면 말 그대로 어딘가에서 이렇게 주워서 이 바이러스가 묻어 있는 무언가를 뭐 먹었다든지 만졌다든지 이랬을 수도 있는 거죠.
I'll give you another example. If, let's say that your friend goes to England for 6 months, and then they come back to Korea, and you say, "Hi, how are you?" And they say, "Oh, I'm all right. How are you?"
You've picked up a British accent.
You've picked up a British accent. Did you intend to do it? Did you do it on purpose? Maybe not. And that's why we could say you picked up an accent.
네. 어떤 나라에 가서 그 나라의 억양을 이제 배워올 때 의도적이진 않지만 꽤 오랜 시간 어떤 지역에 가게 되면은 그 지역의 방언이나 뭐 이렇게 악센트를 사용하게 되는 경우가 참 많죠. 그때도 이 pick up an accent라는 표현을 쓸 수 있습니다.
Yeah, and maybe for our expression of the day, because it is so commonly used in English, I'll give you a couple of more examples for pick up.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll come back to it.
All right. Let's get to our second news focus story. 자, 그러면 두 번째 뉴스 포커스 살펴보겠습니다. 코로나19 사태로 마스크 부족 현상을 겪는 태국에서 불량 마스크 문제도 덩달아 커지는 분위기인데요. 코로나19를 막으려다가 자칫 없던 병도 생길 판이라는 얘기가 나올 정도라고 합니다. Let's listen to the story.
Three women are facing time in prison over the resale of hundreds of thousands of used face masks amid the coronavirus outbreak. Police in the Thai province of Saraburi raided a home to find a group of 6 male workers washing and ironing old masks before boxing them for resale. One worker told police they were paid 1 baht or 38 won per mask. Investigations found the masks were being sold online, including on Facebook, for 3 baht each. The group told authorities they had gone through 200,000 face masks in 20 days prior to the raid.
아이고.
Yeah,
That's my response to this story.
It's a good response to this story. It's terrifying. You know, you see sometimes, or at least I've seen on Facebook, people selling face masks. I'm not telling you what to do, but I would not buy those. I would never buy those because number one, even if they're safe, it's illegal what they're doing, right? And number two, it could be a case like this. This is terrifying.
It is.
This story.
맞아요. 태국에서요. 이미 사용했던 마스크를 세탁하고 다림질을 하면서 재사용을 하도록 이제 한 20만 장 정도를 판매했다고 합니다. 정말 없던 병도 생길 판이에요.
And the number of masks that they went through in the last 20 days, 200,000 of those. That's very scary. So let's look at this expression, to go through. Again, this is an expression that is used extremely commonly in English, and it has a different meaning depending on the context. How about a literal context? Go through that door. That means walk from one side of the door to the other side of the door.
그렇죠.
Another context, I'm going through a hard time these days, right? But in this context, it means to use over time. And it also implies that you used a lot. Let's say, for example, that you're drinking a lot of water these days. And in the past 3 days, you drank 15 liters of water. Oh, no, that's too much. Let's say 9 liters of water in the last 3 days. Then I can ask you, oh, so you're drinking more water these days? And you can say, yes, I went through 9 liters in the last 3 days. Now, the reason that you say went through is because you're using a lot over that period.
그렇죠. 이 go through라는 것은 여러 가지 의미가 있는데 지금 이렇게 내가 지난 3일 동안 뭐 9리터의 물을 마셨어라고 할 때는 그 go through 쓸 수 있습니다. 그때는 거치다, 내가 내 몸을 거쳤다, 내가 섭취했다라는 의미가 있지만 기사에서의 go through는요 검토하다 정도의 의미로 보시면 될 것 같습니다. 지금까지 20만 장 정도의 이렇게 재활용된 불량 마스크를 당국에서 발견했다고 합니다. 전문가들은요, 이 자칫 잘못하면 그 암도 유발할 수 있다고 해요. 굉장히 상태가 안 좋다고 합니다.
Is there any snack that your kids love? More than any other?
Just chocolate in general.
Okay, so you might say over one weekend I go through seven packs of chocolate because my kids love it so much.
네, 그렇습니다. 뭔가 이렇게 섭취할 때 초콜릿이든 뭐 물이든 go through 뭐뭐뭐. 네, 보통 이제 양이 좀 많을 때 이런 표현을 또 많이 씁니다.
So it can be use or consume.
consume도 대신 쓸 수 있고요. That was a look at our second news focus story. Please use clean masks. But again, easier said than done. Let's go through the quiz question.
The quiz question again, a deeply distressing or disturbing experience is known as blank. Is it number 1, trauma, number 2, memory, or number 3, picnic?
계속해서 정답 보내주세요. 총 5분께 추첨을 통해서 저자극 순한 비누 보내드리겠습니다. 자, 레이디 가가의 노래 듣고 다음 뉴스 포커스 살펴보겠습니다. 요성이에요. 자, 세 번째 뉴스 포커스 살펴보겠습니다. 어제 미국 민주당 대선 경선 슈퍼 투스데이, 슈퍼 화요일에 바이든 전 부통령이 예상 밖의 승리를 거뒀다는 소식 전해드렸는데요. 바이든 전 부통령의 부인 질 바이든이 남편에게 달려드는 시위자들을 잇따라 격퇴한 장면도 큰 화제를 모으고 있습니다. Let's listen to the story.
As the Super Tuesday results rolled in, two unexpected heroes emerged from the night. Jill Biden, wife of the former vice president, and his senior advisor, Simone Sanders. The two offered Secret Service level protection in Los Angeles, quickly responding when Joe Biden was interrupted mid-speech by two protesters who stormed the stage chanting, "Let Dairy Die." The first protester was quickly removed by security, but another protester emerged moments later. Neither protester could have known they were up against not just regular security, but also Biden's right-hand women who made an undefeatable tag team.
네, 마치 영화 보디가드의 한 장면을 보는 것 같았습니다. 지금 영상 보여드릴게요. 네, 지금 보이는 라디오로 함께 보시면은요, 영상이 나오고 있습니다. 시위자들에 둘러싸여 있는 조 바이든 그리고 아내 질 바이든의 모습인데요.
Yep, they were his private security. Pretty impressive, huh? Their reaction time was very fast.
Very, very fast indeed.
Well done. So Joe Biden, he had his regular security forces on stage, but he also had his right-hand women. All right, now, right-hand person, man or woman, refers to the person that you trust the most, the person that you work with very closely.
Yep.
For Barack Obama, Biden was Obama's right-hand man, meaning the person that you talk to when you need help, the person that you turn to when you need help, all of those things together, that's your right-hand person. So it could be right-hand man or right-hand woman.
그렇습니다. 우리는 보통 이제 뭐 오른팔이다 이런 얘기를 하죠. 비슷한 의미로 보시면 되겠습니다. In Korea we say right arm.
Okay.
It's similar but not exactly the same.
Easy to understand this expression
Yes.
then, right? Yeah. So because there were two, Jill Biden and Simone Sanders, we say right-hand women in this context. And they created an undefeatable tag team. Were you a fan of wrestling when you were a child?
No.
Okay. Maybe you won't understand what I'm going to say. Sometimes in wrestling, it's just one wrestler against another wrestler. But sometimes it's two wrestlers against two wrestlers. But in the ring, there can only be two.
Yeah.
So the other two, they wait outside. And 2 against 2 is called tag team wrestling.
아.
So when one wrestler exits and the other one enters, they tag them in. And they are together a tag team.
I've seen those scenes
Right.
in movies.
Now you know the terms.
네, 그렇군요. 레슬링에서 이제 두 명의 선수가 한 팀을 이룰 때 보통 이제 태그 팀이라고 하는데요. 여기서도 마찬가지로 레슬링은 아니지만 두 명이 마치 한 팀을 이룬 것처럼 이렇게 조 바이든을 지켰다라고 해서 태그 팀이라는 표현이 쓰였습니다.
Yeah, it was kind of like wrestling.
Yeah, in a way.
A little
yeah.
bit. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, well, those were our news focus stories this morning. Now it's time to check the answer to the quiz.
A deeply distressing or disturbing experience is known as number 1, trauma.
네, 1번 영어로는 이제 trauma라고 하고요. 한국말로는 트라우마라고 하죠. 발음이 약간 다르다는 거 기억해 주시고요. 김세왕님, 천민경님, 류은경님, 이선옥님, 그리고 7730 끝번호 쓰시는 분 저자극 순환비누 보내드리겠습니다. Steve, what is the expression of the day?
Well, let's talk about some different contexts for pick up. In the context of the articles today, we were saying to get or acquire by accident, right? But it can be used even more commonly than that when we're talking about our everyday lives. So, one context would be if your friend comes to your home or to your school or to your office in their car and they come to get you, then they are picking you up. So you might ask your husband or your partner or your wife, can you pick me up at 6 p.m.? Meaning, can you come get me physically at 6 p.m.? So that's one example.
나 저녁 때 데리러 올 수 있어? Can you come and pick me up at 6 o'clock? 이렇게 얘기할 수 있고요.
Now, here's another extremely common example. You are at home and you are waiting for your partner. Your partner is on their way home from work. And then you realize, uh-oh, we need some milk, or we need some kimchi, or we need some butter. So you call your partner and you ask them, can you pick it up for me? Can you pick up some milk on your way home?
오는 길에 뭐뭐를 사오다라는 뜻으로도 픽업을 쓸 수 있습니다. 뭐 여보 집에 오는 길에 우유 하나만 사다 줄 수 있어? Can you pick up some milk on your way home?
Exactly.
그렇게 쓰는군요. 픽업이 정말 다양한 표현이 있다, 그 의미가 있다는 거.
So many contexts.
네, 오늘 알아봤습니다. Okay, well that's it for the first hour already. Thank you so much, Steve.
That's it for me. That means yes. Thank you very much for having me. As always, have a safe and healthy Friday, and we'll see you tomorrow for the review show.
Absolutely. Well, coming up in the second hour of Morning Special, we have the Power English team with a daily idiom, and we call that, of course, Say What? We also have our lifestyle segment with Bruno. 기대가 많이 되는 2부입니다. 노래 듣고 저는 돌아오도록 할게요. 핑크의 So What 듣고 오겠습니다.